welcome to another vlog. And we've got sunshine, as you can see, in the Yakima Valley. A little breezy. It's supposed to be up in the upper 80s, low 90s this weekend, so we're going to have to wait and see. We're getting ready to start our next maintenance vlog, and we've actually got two more maintenance vlogs, and they're the big vlogs. These are ones that are going to be working on, well, they're big props, and there's a lot of work to do on them. Flipped a coin, and we decided we're going to be working on these. My entrance and exit arches, I made those a couple years back. They've served their purposes. I'm not getting rid of them. There's four pieces to them. There's the pillars themselves. Then there's the arch that goes over the top, the skeletons that sit on top, and then the gates. The only thing that doesn't need to be worked on that prop is the gates. The gates are just fine. Everything else needs some sort of work. For example, on the pillars, you'll notice down here at the bottom, and they've been nicked and dinged with the lawnmowers. There's some scratches and scrapes. Little Kaylee over there, when we first got her, had a fetish for foam. And there's a couple of them where about 5-6 rows of brick up are just shredded from her digging at them. So I need to get in there and get those fixed. The skeletons that sit up on top here. The eyes on the skeleton are LED light bulbs, 12 volt. That's fine. The lanterns they hold were 5 volt. I bought them and they had, took batteries. Man, it was a 5 volt power supply, by the time you figured out the batteries. So when I hook them into my electrical, I've got to run a 12 volt line and a 5 volt line out to the pillars to get everything turned on. Well, I'm going to fix that. I just want a 12 volt line. I don't want to have to be running different wattages of power lines out to them. So we're going to convert the skellies over to 12 volt, and that's just a matter of putting a puck in the lantern. So that's the easy part. The next step, which is a total revamp, is going to be the arches. And let's get you in the shop, and that's the step we're going to be working on next. And I'll show you what we're going to be doing. Okay, we're in the shop, and the arches I've got laid out. You notice they're laid out on plywood. Now what I'm going to do is, originally I used PVC pipe, and I heated it and bended it, and did a lot of detail work using PVC pipe. Then we used some EL wire to light up around the outside of it. I used LEDs for the enter and the exit. And we've had some problems with this ever since I first made them. The first year, the EL wire worked okay. There's a little transformer that hooks up to it to get it to glow. It didn't like being out in the weather. I burned up a couple of transformers. Last year, we didn't even hook the EL wire up. Another problem we had was one on the enter, the green LEDs. I don't have very many LEDs in there, but it's bright as hell. Even looking at it, you get kind of a rainbow glare to it, and just way too bright. The red over here, I got red LEDs in on the exit, and I've got just as many LEDs in there per letter as I do per that. This one was always really dim. Red's a little dimmer bulb as it is. But there's a short somewhere in it, and not sure where, and I could probably track it down and fix it. But you plug it in, it works, you turn it off, come back next night, turn it on, it won't be on, it won't come on. You have to go up there and play around with the wiring, and then she'll come on, stay on for a little bit, and shut off. And I'm just tired of screwing with it, and I had the same problem with the EL wire. The other problem, too, is the back of them. All the LEDs are out the back. Which is fine when it's set up. No one can touch them or get them or so they're fine that way. But for storage, it made it a pain in the ass for storage. So, what we're going to do is I am going to get the lights out here so they sit flush on the plywood. We're going to trace these out on plywood, cut them out on plywood, and then I'll do some cutouts for around the letters, you know, and I'll do some sort of design down here. And we're putting a different lighting system in. Unfortunately, I'm taking a step back. It's not going to be low voltage, it's going to be 110. And you'll see that when I get to it, and I'll explain my reasonings and stuff with that at a later point. But, okay, don't know if this is showing up very good on the video, but I went and took the original arches, laid them up here, and I sketched out roughly around the outside. I also marked where the letters are, you know, for the inner. Same with the exit. I then went through and put a series of screws in throughout the arch to hold the plywood pieces together. There's 2 pieces of plywood here, and I need exact copies. I need to cut them both out at the same time. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take my jigsaw and I'm going to come through here and I'm going to cut each one out, but I'm going to leave a huge gap around. I just want to get rid of the waste plywood that I don't need. That way they're easier to manage, easier to move, what have you, instead of trying to cut them out exactly on one sheet of plywood. We've made some progress. Welcome to Monday. Just getting back into town, got back out here and got busy with working on the project after doing errands. We left you with getting ready to cut the forms out. We got them all cut out. I've gone around the outside edge on all 4 pieces, and with a drum sander, and got them all sanded down. And I'm getting ready. I've got the pieces separated, and right now. So this is the this is going to be the piece that's going to be on the front of the inner sign. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove this material in here, just leaving a strip on the upper and inner portion of the curve. And we'll be putting our lights in on this. And then this field in here is where the wording and any graphics are going to be. Just getting ready to do the inner. We've got the exit done over here. That way you can see a finished piece. And obviously I haven't done the exit, you know, the wording and stuff on the second piece for it yet. I'm just working on the front piece. That's where we're at now. Okay, I've been working on the exit, as you can see. We've got it all laid out. I've got the word exit cut out, and as you can see, I have not done any sanding or cleaning up on it, so things are a little rough. Having a design problem now. On either side of the word exit, I've got a space here to here that I want to do some sort of detail in. Okay, I've got a spot there. I've got a spot here. What I originally done, this is the graphic off our logo. You see it at the beginning of the log. I was thinking of putting one probably about there, and then another one about there, and doing 2 on each end. My problem is, all I've got to cut that out with is a jigsaw here, and I'm not going to be able to do it with a jigsaw because of the size of the blade. Some of these cutouts are kind of small. I'm not going to be able to get it to turn and do what I want. Not with a jigsaw. I could easily do it with my scroll saw here. Not a problem with that. You know, using the scroll saw to cut it. Big problem I'm having though is this piece is so big, so cumbersome, and trying to do some of the tight turns and everything. Table on the scroll saw is not big enough. And there's just not enough room to maneuver this piece for where I want to do it. So I can't use a scroll saw, can't use a jigsaw, which means I can't do this graphic. Unfortunately. On here. So I've got to figure out a different graphic to use. Well, we've been set dresser approved. Had her out here and we've been going over different types of patterns and stuff. ended up coming up with this. We're going to do a lattice look in here. So each one of these holes is going to have to get cut out. And I can flip the pattern over and do that side and have a mirror image of it. It's been set dresser approved. Exit sign is done as far as the cutting goes on it. I still need to adhere this part to it. Haven't done that yet, and I won't do it until the entrance sign is done. That way I can glue them up both together. What we're thinking about on colors is this ring here. This part and the erased portion going around are going to be done in black. I've still got to drill the holes for the sockets yet in here, you know, for the lights. But the outer ring is going to be black. The word exit is going to be done in red. And then I'm thinking about leaving the lattice a white color. So I'm not sure. I haven't totally decided. I might just do it in black. You know, so I don't have 3 colors going on. I only have 2. Haven't decided on that yet, and I'll work on that when I get to that point. Well, I'm at a standstill. We got out here. I got both the exit and the entrance signs cut out. And we just started the gluing process on them. There's your exit. And then your enter, which you haven't seen cut out yet. I know I'm a little close. You can't see the whole thing at once. You will at some point. But anyway, I'm using Gorilla Glue to marry the 2 pieces of plywood together, both the back half and the front half. So I'm at this point, I gotta let them dry overnight, and then tomorrow we can come out here and get them cleaned up. Well, it's Thursday. I'm getting ready to head out of town for work tomorrow. Yesterday we got out here and got the entrance and the exit arches glued together. So today, and I gotta get out here, get the screws and stuff out of them, give them a light sanding, and then we gotta go through and get everything kind of cleaned up. We used Gorilla Glue, and Gorilla Glue did its thing. Not only did it glue it together, it made its foamy mess around the outside edges. So we gotta go through and get them all cleaned up. And now I gotta get them marked for where the light sockets are gonna go on there. And then once I get that point done, I'm stuck. I can't do anything else with these until the light sockets come in. I wanna make sure when I drill my holes in them that I drill the holes the right size. And I need the sockets for that. Made some progress today. Exit sign there, that way you can see the whole thing. I got it out here. And then the enter sign. They've been trimmed, sanded, and I've gone through and filled all the holes and stuff. It needs to dry. Probably overnight would be best. Other than paint, the only other thing I need to do is I need to mark out, we have some lights that we're going to put in this rim around here. I need to mark out where they're going to be. And technically, I can drill the holes today. The sockets came in. Hold on here, let me kill the radio. Lionel's being a little too loud. There we go. What I ended up doing is I went on eBay and ordered some C9 sockets. In other words, they take it's the outdoor Christmas lights strands, and I'm going to order some specialty bulbs that will fit in there. And hopefully those will work. But that's what we're going to put in for the lights on those. But I got to get the holes drilled. And now that I have the sockets, I can measure the size of the socket and get the holes drilled. I think that's going to be for Monday when we get back into town. It's hot. It's up in the upper 80s, or was. It's about mid 80 now. But I need to sand the entrance and the exit arch down, mark out for the lights, drill the holes, and then we'll be into paint. And it shouldn't take long to do that stuff. Well, there's the exit. It's finished for this stage. And there's the inner. It's finished for this stage. Now the only thing I need to do on them, obviously, if you're paying, well, I don't know if it's showing up on camera or not, but I gotta get the sockets into their holes all the way around, and I gotta get the mounting brackets on this. And the mounting brackets I can't do until I get a couple of towers out, so I can get everything measured and lined up. The sockets I'll do when I'm ready to do the skeletons too, which will be after I get the work on the pillars done, which will be Monday. It is Thursday. We go out of town for work tomorrow, so obviously I can't start it tomorrow. I know this is going to end up being a long vlog if I showed you the whole process of doing the pillars, the skeletons, and everything else. So what I think I'm going to do now, instead of doing it later, is I'm going to break this up into a couple of different vlogs. What you've just watched is going to be vlog 1. Next vlog will be on the pillars, which will be out in a couple of weeks. It doesn't go very fast building a Halloween project when you've only got a part of 4 days to work on things. So sit tight. Hope you enjoyed this part. If you have any questions, put them down in the comments or what have you. And we'll see you in the next vlog. Stay spooky. Stay toxic.